Okay, so if you've gone through the prompts and you've created your account, your student account for Maya, then you should now have the option to choose a version, operating system, and language. Now, Maya, there's always quite a few versions available. I prefer to work in a slightly older version just because the newer versions tend to be quite buggy. But if you're actually like Googling how to install Maya 2017, then you probably want to figure out how to install Maya 2017. So I've selected that version. There's my operating system. And we don't have a lot of language options here, which is kind of unfortunate. So now something to keep in mind that there's actually a bunch of different ways to download from here. While it says browser download, which will open up the Autodesk application manager, which is going to try and help you, which will basically download it for you. You actually have a few more options if you click on this little upside down arrow here. You have install now, which is the application. You have download now, which you're still going to be running the application, but it allows you to download the program outside of an instance. And then browser download. Now, browser download is the old school download the entire application, the entire exe, and then install it from there. You can see that exe is quite large, so that's 1 point, almost 1.3 gig there. I've opted to go for the browser download because I have Maya 2017 Lite on my computer. Now, if you already have Maya on your computer, you already have the Autodesk desktop app, and I've found that if you already have Maya installed, then that first option for install now actually bugs out really badly, so it just doesn't run. So if you're finding that you just can't install over and over again, then try the browser download. So I'm going to run that like I would any .exe, and it asks me where I want to extract this to. I have an Autodesk folder ready to go on my other drive. So Autodesk is quite large, and so or Maya is quite large. I highly recommend installing it on a different drive and running it from a different drive if your C drive is quite small. So we will let that do its thing. So it's going to self-extract, so that's basically extracting the entire install program. I'll pause it here so while it does that. Okay, so my exe for this Autodesk Maya download has finished extracting, and it is loaded up this installation application for me. And the option I want, because I want to install Maya 2017, is install on this computer. So I will click that option, and I will accept their license agreement because I actually want to use the program. And now, so it's got two options selected for me. It has Autodesk Maya 2017 and Arnold for Maya. You want both because Maya no longer comes with its own inbuilt rendering engine. And if you actually want to see your final product looking good, you need a rendering engine, and that's what Arnold is. So those of you who have been working in Mental Ray for the last few years, as have I, it is a sad, sad time. Alright, so I'm just going to change my install location as discussed before. It's quite a large program. So I think I'm good to go. I've got my two programs selected. I'm saving to my D drive, and I will install. Okay, so this is just going to go through its process. It's going to take a while. Don't let your computer go to sleep. If your computer goes to sleep while this is running, there's a good chance it's going to crash. So let's create a couple of things to keep in mind. So this is stuff that you should just have in mind when you are going to install Maya. So keep in mind when installing Maya. Okay, as discussed before, if you already have Maya installed, then install now option will probably fail. How frustrating is it to actually like listen to me narrate while I type? Why don't I just pause the freaking video, finish typing, and then I can read it out? Okay, so things to keep in mind when installing Maya. If you already have Maya installed, like if you've got a previous version or something, then just clicking the Install Now button after you log into the account page is probably not going to work. It can be quite buggy, especially on Windows 10. After you have downloaded, keep your Maya install page open, as you are probably going to need your serial number and your product key. Maya is a large program, so save it to a drive where you have a lot of space. And finally, yes, you do indeed want to install Arnold while you're installing Maya, because Maya no longer comes with its own rendering engine. So, if you want your objects to look pretty and you want to be able to render out nice scenes, you need a rendering engine, and that's what Arnold is. Okay, I'm just going to let this continue to install, and I will pause the video here, and I will pick it up when this is finished doing its thing. Okay, we are all installed at this point. So, if you've successfully installed, you should see Autodesk Maya 2017 Arnold and the Autodesk Desktop app, because apparently you can't install Maya without installing this as well. So, hello bloatware. Now, if you've got big red X's here saying you have failed the install, do try again. Try with the browser download option if you didn't already. Now, Maya and Autodesk can be finicky, but because it installs a lot of stuff in the background. And I have had in the past where if a install failed, no amount of any of these different options would allow me to install it, because something that had been installed at some point during the process was causing the further installs to fail. And I have had to actually reinstall Windows on my computer just to reinstall Maya, so just keep that in mind. Fortunately, we don't have to do that today. That's all green X's, so I'm just going to click finish and go to work.